My name is Aanya. I am 13 years old. I live in a small town in India. My town is quiet. The people are kind. But life is not always easy. I go to a small school. I like my school, but I feel shy. I am not good at speaking English. In my class, some students speak English very well. They speak fast. They sound smart. I want to speak like them. But I can't. Not yet. I feel scared when the teacher asks me to read. I look at the book. The words look strange. My heart beats fast. My hands feel cold. Other students laugh when I make a mistake. I try to smile. But inside, I feel bad. I want to hide. I think, maybe I will never speak good English. But one day, something small changed my life. It was Monday morning. Our English teacher, Mrs. Sharma, came into the class. "Good morning, students," she said with a big smile. "Good morning, ma'am," we replied. She wrote on the board, "English is not just a subject. It is a skill." She looked at us and said, "If you want to learn English, you must practice. You must speak. You must read. And you must write." I looked down. I did not speak. I was scared to even say, "Good morning," loudly. After class, Mrs. Sharma called me to her table. "Anya," she said kindly, "you are a smart girl. Why don't you speak in class?" I looked at the floor. "Ma'am, I don't know English. I make many mistakes." She smiled. "Everyone makes mistakes. Even I did. But mistakes help us learn." She opened her bag and gave me a small red notebook. "Start writing a diary," she said. "Every day, write something in English. Write about your life, your feelings, or anything you see. Don't worry about grammar. Just write." I held the red diary in my hands. It felt new. Clean. Empty. Like a new world. That night, I looked at the red diary. I opened the first page. It was blank. I thought, what should I write? I took my pen. I looked around my small room. My books. My school bag. The soft sound of the fan. The window where the moonlight came in. Then, I began to write. "Dear Diary. My name is Anya. I am 13 years old. I want to speak English. But I feel shy. Today, my teacher gave me a red diary. She said I should write in English. I will try. I feel a little scared. But I also feel hope. Good night, diary. I will write again tomorrow." I looked at what I wrote. It was not perfect. But it was mine. I smiled. For the first time, I felt a little happy about English. I wrote in my diary the next day. And the next. Every day, I wrote one page. Today in school, I read a small story in English. I did not understand all the words. But I guessed the meaning. That made me happy. I will read again tomorrow. I saw a bird on my window. It was blue and small. I wanted to know its name in English. I asked my brother. He said, "Kingfisher." It is a nice word. Writing every day made me feel better. It was like talking to a friend. My diary never laughed at my mistakes. It just listened. One evening, I was writing when my grandmother came in. "What are you doing, dear?" she asked. "I am writing in my English diary, Dottie." She looked at my book and smiled. "Ah, you are trying to learn. That is good. When I was young, I wanted to learn too. But I had no chance." She touched my head gently. "You are lucky. You can learn. Just don't stop." Her words made me strong. I wrote in my diary that night. Dear Diary. Dottie told me she wanted to learn English. But she could not. I feel lucky. I can learn. I must not give up. I will write more tomorrow. In school, I started to listen carefully in English class. When I heard a new word, I wrote it in my diary. Then I searched for its meaning in my dictionary. I made a list. Sky equals the space above the earth. Bright equals full of light. Brave equals not afraid. I used those words in my next diary entry. Dear Diary. Today, the sky was bright. I felt brave in English class. I raised my hand and read one sentence. My voice shook. But I did it. Even small words made me feel big. One Sunday, I decided to write something different. I wrote a letter to myself. Dear Aanya. I know you feel shy. I know English is hard. But you are strong. You are learning. You write every day. That is good. Keep going. Don't stop. One day, you will speak English well. I believe in you. With love. Aanya. When I read it, I cried a little. But they were happy tears. I was starting to believe in myself. Weeks passed. My diary became thick with words. I still made mistakes. But I was not afraid. One day, I saw a poster in school, spoken English practice, join now. I wanted to go. But I was scared. What if I can't speak? I thought. What if I forget words? That night, I asked my diary. Dear Diary. Should I go to the practice class? I feel scared. But I also feel excited. What if this is the next step? I waited. Of course, the diary said nothing. But inside, I heard a voice, try. Just try. The next morning, I told Mrs. Sharma, Ma'am, I want to join the spoken English class. Her eyes lit up. That's great, Aanya. I'm proud of you. I went to the class. I sat in the last row. My heart beat fast. The teacher asked us to introduce ourselves. When my turn came, I stood up. My name is Aanya, I said. I am 13 years old. I like reading. I sat down fast. It was not perfect. But it was a start. That night, I wrote in my diary. Dear Diary. I spoke English today. Just 3 lines. But I did it. I am proud. I will try again tomorrow. This is just the beginning. I made a new goal, learn one new word every day. Each morning, I picked one word. I wrote it in my diary. I wrote its meaning. I made a sentence. Word, hope. Meaning, a feeling that something good will happen. Sentence, I hope I will speak English well one day. The next day. Word, smile. Meaning, a happy look on the face. Sentence, my teacher gave me a smile when I said my first sentence in English. Words started to feel like tiny keys. Each one opened a small door in my mind. I wanted to speak more English, but I had no one to talk to. So I started talking to myself. In the morning, I looked in the mirror and said, Good morning, Aanya. How are you today? Then I answered, I'm fine. I feel happy. Today, I will learn one new word. At first, I felt silly. But slowly, it became normal. Fun, even. At night, I would say, Today was a good day. I learned the word brave. I was brave in class today. Speaking to myself helped me feel confident. My voice became louder. Clearer. I started to look for English everywhere. On shampoo bottles, soft and shiny. On snack packets, tasty and crunchy. On posters, be smart. Speak English. I wrote those words in my diary. I made sentences with them. Shiny, my new shoes are shiny. Crunchy, I like crunchy chips. Smart, my brother is smart, but I am learning too. I realized English was not only in books. It was around me. Every day. I made a small English wall in my room. I put sticky notes on the wall. Each note had one word or sentence. I can do it. Today is a good day. Learn and grow. Try. Fail. Try again. Every morning, I looked at the wall and read the notes out loud. My favorite one was, little words can make big dreams. One day, our English teacher told a joke in class. Everyone laughed. I didn't understand. I felt sad. I wanted to laugh too. That evening, I searched for simple English jokes. I found one. Question: why did the student eat his homework? A. Because the teacher said it was a piece of cake. I didn't get it at first. Then I read it again. Piece of cake means something easy. I laughed. I wrote the joke in my diary. Dear Diary. Today I read my first English joke. It was funny. One day, I will tell jokes too. In English. Every week, I wrote down my wins, small things that made me feel proud. I read one page without stopping. I asked a question in English. I helped my friend with a word. I wrote a poem in English. Even tiny wins felt big. I wrote. Dear Diary. I may not speak fast. I may not write perfect English. But I am moving. One step. One word. Every day. I love music. One day, I heard a soft English song on the radio. I didn't know all the words, but I liked the tune. I searched for the lyrics online. I wrote them in my diary. Then I sang the song, line by line. My favorite line was, "You are stronger than you know." I repeated it to myself. I believed it. I wrote. Dear Diary. Today I sang in English. I made many mistakes. But I didn't stop. It felt like flying. One Sunday, I sat in my room. I picked up my pen. I wrote a letter to my future self. Dear future Anya. Are you reading this? Can you speak English now? I hope so. I want you to remember one thing: you tried. You worked hard. You didn't give up. I am proud of you. With love. Anya, from the past. I put the letter inside my diary. I smiled. That night, I had a dream. I was standing on a big stage. A microphone in front of me. A room full of people. And I was speaking, in English. Clear. Confident. Strong. It was Tuesday. English class. Mrs. Sharma asked us to write 5 sentences using the word went. I quickly wrote. I went to school. She went to the park. We went to home. They went shopping. He went to the market. When she checked my notebook, she smiled gently and said, Anya, it's went, not went, and we say went home, not to home. I felt my cheeks turn red. I looked down and whispered, sorry, ma'am. She said, no need to say sorry. You're learning. Every mistake is a step forward. That night, I wrote in my diary. Dear Diary. I made mistakes today. But ma'am said mistakes are okay. I will not feel bad. I will learn. I will grow. Our spoken English teacher said something that stayed with me. You don't need perfect English. You need brave English. He asked us to talk in pairs. My partner was Rayhan. He spoke fast. I spoke slow. He asked, "What did you eat today?" I said, I ate rice and dal. He smiled and said, "That's good." I smiled too. That night, I wrote. Dear Diary. I spoke with Rehan. I made mistakes. But he listened. I listened too. It was not perfect. But it was real. I was brave. One day, I tried to say, I like cooking. But I said, I like caulking. Some students laughed. I felt tears in my eyes. I wanted to run away. But then, I remembered something my teacher once said. When people laugh, laugh with them. Then learn. So I smiled too. I laughed a little. I corrected myself. Cooking. The class clapped. That night. Dear Diary. I made a funny mistake. People laughed. I felt bad. But I didn't run. I stayed. I smiled. I learned. And next time, I'll say it right. Rehan saw me writing in my diary one day. He said, "What are you writing?" "My English diary," I said. "That's cool," he said. "Want me to check your grammar sometimes?" I nodded. He read a few pages. "You write well," he said. "Just small mistakes. But your feeling is clear." I closed the door. I stood in front of the mirror. It was just me, my reflection, and my voice. "Hello," I said softly. "My name is Aanya. I want to speak English." I felt strange at first. I giggled. Then I got serious. I looked into my own eyes and said, "I can do this." Every day, I stood in front of the mirror and spoke. At first, just greetings. Then short sentences. Then full thoughts. It became my daily practice. Dear Diary. The mirror listens. It doesn't judge. It doesn't laugh. It helps me see who I am becoming. I made a list of topics to speak about in the mirror. My family. My school day. My favorite food. My dreams. My biggest fear. Each day, I picked one topic. I spoke for 1 minute. Sometimes I stopped. Sometimes I forgot words. But I never stopped trying. One day, something changed. As I looked into the mirror and spoke, I suddenly saw someone confident. Someone brave. Someone growing. It was still me, but not the same me. My voice was stronger. My eyes looked sure. My hands moved when I spoke. I smiled. Dear Diary. The girl in the mirror is still me. But now, she believes in herself. I borrowed my brother's phone. "I just want to try something," I said. I opened the voice recorder and spoke. "Hi, this is Aanya. I'm 13 years old. I love learning English. Every day, I try a little more." Then I played it back. I heard my own voice in English, for the first time. It sounded shaky. Slow. But it was real. And it was mine. The next day, I recorded again. Then again. Each time, I sounded clearer. Dear Diary. I heard my voice today. At first, I didn't like it. But now, I feel proud. That voice is learning. That voice is mine. One day, I pretended my table fan was a person. I sat in front of it and gave a full speech. "Hello everyone," I said to the fan. "Today, I will talk about why I love English." My brother saw me and laughed. "Are you teaching the fan English now?" he joked. I laughed too. "Yes," I said. "The fan speaks English now." But secretly, it helped me. Dear Diary. Sometimes we need to be silly to be strong. If I can speak to a fan, I can speak to people too. Mrs. Sharma gave us a homework task. Write a short story in English. Then tell it to the class. My heart beat fast. But I knew, this was my chance. I sat with my diary and wrote. The Little Ant. One day, a small ant fell into a puddle. She tried to get out. She slipped. She tried again. She slipped again. She was tired. But she said, I will not stop. She tried one more time. And she climbed out. It was short. Simple. But I loved it. When it was my turn to speak in class, my hands were cold. My legs were shaking. I held my paper and began. Good morning. My name is Aanya. Today I will tell a short story, The Little Ant. I told the story. I paused where needed. I smiled. I looked at my classmates. And when I finished, the class clapped. Mrs. Sharma said, that was wonderful, Aanya. I felt like flying. Dear Diary. I did it. I told a story in English, in front of everyone. The mirror helped me. The fan helped me. But mostly, I helped myself. To practice speaking more, I created a game with my brother. We cut paper into pieces. On each piece, we wrote a word, I am happy, school. Like, my, English, speak, want, food, etc. Then we shuffled the pieces. The rule was, make a sentence in 10 seconds. It was fun. Sometimes the sentences were silly. I want my food happy. My school is speak. We laughed, then fixed them. It helped me think fast in English. Dear Diary. English can be fun. Games help me learn without fear. And learning with laughter feels good. One night, I stood on the terrace. The sky was full of stars. I looked up and whispered in English. Hello, stars. I'm learning your language. Every day, I try. I make mistakes, but I grow. Please watch me. Shine on me. Help me keep going. I didn't know why I spoke like that. But it felt right. Dear Diary. I talked to the stars today. Maybe they don't understand English. But I think they understand effort. And heart. My brother, Arav, is 10 years old. He is funny, loud, and always curious. He doesn't love school, but he loves video games and cartoons. Most days, we fight. But we also laugh a lot. He always sees me writing in my red diary. One evening, he asked. Why do you write in that book every day? I said, it's private. He made a face. Is it a secret diary? Yes, I said. A very special one. That was the first time I called it special, not silly. One afternoon, I came back from school and found Arav sitting on my bed, with my diary in his hands. My heart stopped. He looked up and said, I only read one page, I promise. I shouted, Arav. That's my private diary. He looked sorry. I was just curious. I didn't know it was so good. That surprised me. What do you mean? I mean, your English is really nice. And the story about the ant? It was cool. I blinked. You read that? He nodded. Anne. I want to write too. That weekend, we went to the market. I asked Dad to buy one more diary, a blue one, for Arav. He started writing small entries, just like I did in the beginning. Day 1. My name is Arav. I am 10 years old. My sister helps me learn English. He showed me his writing. It had mistakes, but I smiled. Good job, Arav. You are learning. We started writing together in the evenings. We read each other's entries and corrected mistakes. Learning English was no longer lonely. Dear Diary. Arav read my diary. At first, I was angry. But now, I feel proud. He wants to learn too. Maybe this diary is more powerful than I thought. We created a new habit, 15 minutes of English time every evening. Rules. Only English speaking. No teasing. Mistakes allowed. We played games. Word chain, apple, elephant, tiger. Describe the picture, using magazine photos. Guess the word, I give hints, he guesses. Sometimes we laughed at silly answers. But slowly, we both improved. Even Mom started joining in. Arav came to me one day and said, I wrote a poem. I smiled. Show me. He read. My toy car. My toy car is red and fast. I drive it slow, I drive it fast. It zooms around the room all day. But I always put it away. I clapped. That's amazing. He beamed. Thanks, Didi. I want to write more. Dear Diary. I always thought I was the learner. But now, I'm a teacher too. It feels beautiful. At school, I told Rehan and 2 other friends about my diary. They were surprised. You write in English every day? I nodded. Rehan said, that's cool. Maybe we should all try. We made a small group. We called it the Diary Club. Rules. 1 diary entry a day, 5 to 6 lines. Share 1 entry every week. Help each other with corrections. 4 people became 6. Then 10. Soon, many students were writing English diaries. Our diary club met every Saturday during lunch. Some entries were funny. Some were sad. Some were poems. Some were just about food. But each one was real. Honest. Brave. We learned from each other. We laughed at silly mistakes, but kindly. And slowly, we all started speaking better in class. Dear Diary. A secret became a story. A story became a spark. A spark became a group. And now, we all are growing, together. Mrs. Sharma heard about our diary club. She smiled and said, that's wonderful. Why don't you give a small presentation to the class? My heart jumped. Speak. In front of the whole class. Yes, she said. Just 2 to 3 minutes. Share your experience. I wanted to say no. But Arav whispered, you can do it, Didi. So I said yes. I practiced for 2 days. I stood in front of the mirror and rehearsed. Hello everyone. My name is Aanya. I started writing a diary to learn English. At first, I was scared. But now, I feel strong. My diary helped me. And now, it helps others too. On the day of the presentation, I walked to the front of the class. My hands were shaking. My voice was small. But I spoke. Clear. Honest. From the heart. The class clapped. Even the principal smiled. Dear Diary. I shared my secret. And it became a gift. I think. I'm no longer hiding. I'm starting to shine. It was Monday morning. The school bell rang. All students gathered in the assembly hall. The principal stood on stage and said, this Friday, we will celebrate English Day. There will be songs, speeches, stories, and a small competition. Everyone is welcome to join. Excited whispers filled the room. My heart beat faster. I felt both nervous and excited. Mrs. Sharma came to me after assembly. She smiled and said, Anya, would you like to give a speech? I didn't answer right away. My hands felt cold. My thoughts ran wild. What if I forget my words? What if people laugh? But then I remembered the mirror. The diary. The fan. My little brother. My club. I thought, maybe I'm ready. So I said, yes, ma'am. I'll do it. Mrs. Sharma gave me a soft pat on my back. I'm proud of you. Dear diary. I said yes. Not because I'm not afraid, but because I am. And still. I said yes. I sat down that evening with my red diary and began to write.